If there's one word that has been floating on the internet for a minute now, I think it is manifestation. Hi, guys. Welcome to the first episode of the Swamsy Lazy podcast. My name is Swamini. I have a little account called Swamsy Baby on Instagram, and I finally decided to start a podcast. I've been sitting on this idea for a minute now, but this time I was like, you know what? We gotta put ideas into action. I just want to give you a quick idea as to why I named it Swamsy Lazy, because the idea was to laze around and talk about everything under the sun. I don't have a specific topic that I want to target. I just want to talk about anything and everything that comes to my mind. Okay, so let's directly dive into it. Today's topic, as you can guess by the title, is manifestation real? Now, manifestation as a word has been floating around on the internet a lot since 2020. I mean, I think it has been there for forever, but I think it has really come to the surface after 2020, especially through TikTok, especially through like all these celebrities and influencers talking about manifestation. This is my iPad and I have written all my topics here, and I I just kept it here because it was looking good in the frame, but now I really need to like use it for my utility. I actually have to read, so I'm just gonna keep my iPad here. Okay, so let's begin with the definition of manifestation. What do we even mean by manifestation? Manifestation means turning an invisible idea, dream, feeling into a visible, real life fact. In everyday self help language, it is the idea that thinking about a goal, staying positive, and working hard can make the goal come to reality or happen. And according to the Oxford Dictionary, manifestation means a sign that something is happening. Okay, so the first time I think I heard the word manifestation was in the book The Secret, which basically secret, but I think I was a baby when I read that book. I was, I think, in 10th standard, 11th standard when I read that book. And basically it talks about if you have positive thoughts will attract you. If you have negative thoughts will attract you. So basically that is where I heard manifestation as a word. But then I was young, so I didn't really like apply it to my life or whatever. But it became very evident, and the word manifestation really stuck around after 2020, especially because of TikTok, because of Instagram, Reels, all these manifestation gurus on Instagram, all the Reels telling you that uh, if you are reading this on the 6th of July, something amazing is going to happen to you. Like all these Reels sort of popped up on my feed and on my algorithm, and a lot of people's algorithm, I think. And that is where we started seeing this word manifestation pop up, and we actually started thinking about it, about what manifestation means. We also saw a lot of celebrities, um, influencers talk about vision boards. We saw, like, I remember very vividly seeing this YouTuber called Lily Singh. She spoke about her vision board and everything that she put on her vision board and how she's going to make it come into reality. And she also spoke about visualization, on how she would put her vision board. I think I was in college that time, or I don't know, but like I remember this now that I'm speaking, like I'm talking about it. She used to put her vision board on her ceiling, so it would be the first thing that she sees in the morning. So it was more about not just putting like pictures together and visualizing, but it was actually looking at it every single day to remind herself what her goals were. So personally, that's where I was introduced to the idea of manifestation, vision board, visualization. And it's been a pretty interesting journey what it has turned into now. I feel like manifestation is almost like a household word. Like from my mom to my sister to everybody knows the word manifestation, and we are in some capacity applying the principles of manifestation in our life to achieve our goals. I think I want to do a deep dive into the topic of manifestation and then come to a conclusion if it is real or not, or what is my opinion about it. So, when we say we have to manifest this, we have to manifest that, what does that even mean? So, you can basically break down the idea of manifestation into four parts: the law of assumption, the law of attraction, visualization, and affirmations. Now, what do we mean by that? So, law of attraction is very simple. This was the crux of the book's The Secret. It just means that if you think positive thoughts, you will attract positive opportunities. Likewise, if you think negative thoughts, you will bring or call upon negative opportunities or instances in your life. So, the more positive you are, the more positive interactions you will have in life, and the more negative you are, the more negative experiences you will have in life. That's the basic law of attraction. What is the law of assumption? I think this law is the one that has been popping up. Law of assumption basically means that you have to just assume that you're already the person who has all the things that you wished for and operate as that person, and then all the things that you wished for will become yours. If you want to be somebody who has, say, 5 crores in her bank account, then you have to reverse engineer it, thinking, okay, if I had 5 crores in my account, how would I behave? Like, list down 5 qualities I would have, and then emit those qualities in your everyday life and reach to that frequency. So you just have to reach the frequency of the reality that you want to tap into. Does that make any sense? Are you understanding what I mean? But yeah, that's what it essentially means. Then visualization is a very important tool in meditation also. It is about visualizing your dream reality, actually using your imagination to think about a positive outcome, to think about, okay, I visualize myself in Japan, I'm having ramen, the weather is very cold, the ramen is very hot. And through the tools of visualization, evoke positive feelings in your body. And once you evoke those positive vibrations, the universe, you send out positive vibrations or distinct vibrations of your reality out in the universe, and you attract those dreams into your life. I think so. And last is affirmations. Now, this is one of my favorite segment of manifestation. It is, affirmations are basically words or sentences you use to build or rewire or rebuild your own identity. Now, affirmations would look like, your affirmation should be in the present tense, saying that I am somebody who has a Rolls Royce. Affirmations are are verbal or written tool to rewire your brain and your identity. Wow, I'm sounding like some manifestation guru at the point right now, but no, we're trying to like look at all of this in a more objective lens. Let's talk about why manifestation has blown up the way it has blown up. Like, what made it so enticing, so intriguing, so exciting? I think one of the main reasons is, of course, that everybody wants to do good in life. Everybody wants to find quick, instant, but reliable ways to sort of tap into their dream life, their best life. And when you see, and I think one of the key factors is seeing influencers. You have manifestation influencers like Hot High Priestess, and I think her name is Chaya or Somya or some person. So, seeing a lot of really successful people vouch for this idea of manifestation is something that has had, that gives you a proof of concept that this thing works. There are so many celebrities like Sabrina Carpenter, Dua Lipa, even the rapper, I forgot his name, the one who had this really weird interaction with Emma Chamberlain at the Grammy, at the Met Gala. The, what's that rapper's name? One sec. Jack Harlow. Even Jack Harlow spoke a lot about manifestation. So you see these really famous, rich people vouching this concept of manifestation, which feels like a very enticing, very trustworthy idea that, okay, this is worked for all these people. Maybe I should also give it a chance. And you again see like so many influencers, so many people talk about vision boards. I think in the last 2 years, every 31st December, you'll see thousands of girls and even boys making vision boards and going to the printer walas. I saw so many reels, like so many printing Xerox walas and all were like, array, all these vision board girlies have started coming to us because it's the 31st of December. And yeah, you just see this trend blowing up because I feel like there is a lot of proof of concept, at least from the people who have applied that in their life and have been seeing the benefits. The next reason why I think this I think manifestation has picked up so much is because I feel like Instagram and TikTok and the whole algorithm has literally created a new reality. It has literally created this space where you can quickly blow up, quickly make money, quickly like become successful. So this whole new reality has created this whole new way of thinking where manifestation gurus are like, it is easy for me to earn money, it is easy, I get famous overnight. So it tools like Instagram and this hyper aggressive algorithm has made this new reality come into existence. Does that make sense? I don't know, but yeah, I think the algorithm has a lot to do with this, because if you apply all the manifestation techniques that these manifestation gurus talk about in day to day life outside internet, it is very difficult. If we have to be very honest, it is very difficult to become successful overnight. It is extremely difficult to earn like millions of dollars overnight. Maybe these are mental blocks that I have no idea, but it seems far more difficult. It is very easy to achieve all of those things on the internet because of the way the algorithm works at the moment, uh, which is why those manifestation gurus are operating and that at that reality. So it feels like enticing. It's quick, easy, and anything that's quick, easy, and shiny, people love. Honestly, at the end of the day, I think it's just good to always think positive thoughts than negative thoughts. It's not telling you anything bad. But are there bad things about manifestation? Hmm. So here are some things that I personally don't agree about manifestation. I feel like manifestation breeds this idea of self-centeredness and narcissism, which is extremely detrimental when we are living when we're trying to live in a society, in a community. I feel like saying things like, I am universe's favorite child, it sort of creates this really narcissistic way of looking at the world. It almost puts yourself at the center of the universe, literally. um, I really don't think that the universe is sitting. I don't think that the universe works in a way that it's every day wakes up and it's like, oh, wait, now how can I make Swamini's world better? I don't think the universe operates in that way. So I feel like saying that I'm the luckiest girl in the world, saying that I have, the universe is only working for me. It creates this sort of self centeredness, this sort of narcissism that I don't think is good, um, to operate in a community and also as an individual, because I don't think putting yourself on a pedestal is good in any case scenario, period. Because I think that some might argue that this is again a mental block in my head, that there are a lot of people who put themselves at the center of the universe and then they're treated like they're at the center of the universe, which I think is, I don't know, like you can argue like people like Elon Musk probably think that they are at the center of the universe and they do operate like they're at the center of the universe because they are making those calls and they do have that kind of power. But I don't think operating from that lens is good for anybody, and I personally don't think that thinking that you are better than others and you deserve more than others is a good way to go about life. I personally feel like everybody should be treated like an equal, and I think for your own mental health, it's better to stay a little humble and treat everyone with equal love and respect. I feel like expecting that you should be treated any differently is really not the best way to look at life, honestly. So I think manifestation can create a sense of a superiority complex and a self centeredness, which is very distasteful. Unless you're able to do it in a healthy way, but I don't know what is a healthy way. But I don't seem, I mean, I don't know. Next, I think that in the current social media world, the influencers, the manifestation gurus have sort of like taking this word for granted. There are so many, like, I do follow these influencers as well, and I do believe that there is a lot of truth in what they are saying, and I don't think that they are just yapping and there's no truth to it. But I also feel like there is some sort of guilt tripping that is happening at the point, because I see all these reels on Instagram which are like, if you're watching this on the 26th of July, something really amazing is going to happen to you. I can see that you're going to get a fat check at the end of this week. And if you want to make it real, I want you to claim this energy, because everything is about energy exchange. I want you to claim this energy by interacting this video 3 times. Like, really? Like, if you're trying to give out a good message, this is what my problem with everything is. Even with karma, now we're gonna we karma is a very huge topic. We'll deep dive into it in another episode altogether. But honestly, I feel like if you're doing something good, if you are telling a good news to somebody, I feel like you should do it regardless. I don't think you should do it with keeping something in mind that I should get in return. Like saying that, claim, like, interact with this video 3 times, which is like, follow, subscribe, whatever. Interact with this video 3 times, and only then you will be able to claim this energy, because everything is about energy exchange. I do not like this idea at all. I feel like, even with karma, I feel like if you feel like you want to do good, you should do good, irregardless of thinking that if something good is going to come back to me. If you're operating, or if you're only doing good because you expect good and bad, expect good things to happen to you in return, I think it is a very adulterated way of goodness and of kindness. You should be kind to somebody because you really want to be kind to somebody, irregardless of wanting kindness back from them. It is nice if they return that kindness, but I don't think you should operate like that. So when manifestation gurus operate in that capacity, and I'm not saying all of them do that, some of them do that, when they are like, oh, everything is energy exchange. So please claim with this. So please interact this with you 3 times, because then only you will get this, or then only you will receive this. I think that's a bit fishy, and I think that you should not be doing that, in my humble opinion. But yeah, that's one thing that I really don't like about manifestation. So now we spoke about all the bad things about manifestation. Now let's see, what does science say. This is my favorite part. So now science has a very, very interesting take on manifestation. I personally would like to believe that science still has not tapped into the full potential of manifestation, or what that even means. But there have been some studies and some theories. So I'm going to read out some to you. One thing is about quantum manifestation. Quantum manifestation bridges science and spirituality, suggesting that focused consciousness can help shape reality. By aligning your dominant thoughts, emotions, elevated energetic state with your desires, you can collapse infinite quantum possibilities into your everyday physical life. While physicists debate the true extent of consciousness in subatomic mechanics, the framework of quantum manifestation centers on few key concepts. I think this is a bit debatable. I really don't know if it is that easy to go into one parallel reality and then collapse the other parallel realities. So I really don't know. I'm not the biggest supporter of parallel universes, so that's debatable. Okay, so another concept is the observer effect, or the double slit experiment in quantum mechanics. Ooh, this one is my favorite, because I have actually, like, I last year fully went into this topic. In quantum mechanics, particles exist in a wave-like state of probabilities until, okay, so I know this. I'll explain this. So the double slit experiment basically is that they conducted an experiment where light particles were charged at two holes, and ideally, when this happens, it should create a wave-like pattern like this. But instead, what the scientists observed, that they were creating a pattern like this, which was interesting. But what was more interesting, that once the experiment was observed, the light particles changed their pattern. So what that means is, when you observe the light particles, it changes the pattern, which the manifestation people took it as, that anything that you observe changes its reality. So your attention can change the reality of the thing itself. So, for example, if you pay attention to your pain, then your pain increases. If you don't pay attention to your pain subsides. But what the biggest thing that people get wrong about this double slit experiment is that when the scientists say that when the light particles are observed, they don't literally mean observing them, they mean when they are calculated, when there is a calculator how the light particles are interacting, the interaction of those light particles changes. That is what the experiment says. But but I still do feel like we have not fully tapped into the true potential of this experiment, what it means at a quantum level. Even though at the surface level it does mean that we are calculating and that is changing the reality, but I also feel like there is a lot of power in our attention and our observation of our reality. Okay, science also says superposition and alignment. Superposition means subatomic particles can exist in multiple states simultaneously. Proponents of quantum manifestation, often popularized in spiritual communities like David Byers, suggest that every version of your reality self, confident, abundant, healthy, already exists in the quantum field. Your job is not to force the result, but to energetically and emotionally align with the frequency of that reality. I think we spoke about that before. The power of coherence. Many practitioners of quantum jumping, shifting to a higher reality, note that simply forcing positive thought does not work if your body remains in a state of fear, lack, and scarcity. The quantum field responds to the signal you broadcast. When you achieve emotional and mental coherence, you stop chasing desires and begin living from the state of already having them. Again, I think we touched upon that. Reticular activating system. This bundle of nerves at the base of your brain acts as a filter. When you're focusing intensely on a specific goal, you prime the RAS or the reticular activating system to recognize opportunities, ideas, resources in your environment that aligns with your desire while filtering out your distraction. Okay, so yeah, so I think this is interesting. This basically says that if you tomorrow want a black Jaguar, you will start seeing a black Jaguar everywhere through ads, through through people talking. And it doesn't mean that the universe is aligning a black Jaguar around you. It simply means that it simply means that your reticular activating system is filtering out all the other trash that does not align with you wanting to have a black Jaguar. Now, tomorrow, if you feel like, oh no, I really want to have like a nice, crispy, hot slice of pizza, you will immediately see an ad that has pizza. Your friend will call up and he'll be like, you know what, bro, let's go get pizza. I think it's just your brain trying to filter out, which I think is interesting because that can also happen. And then your mind tricks you into believing that, you know what, the universe is sort of helping me get me a pizza or a Jaguar. Or the universe is sort of telling me that I should be buying a Jaguar when it's just your brain being your brain. And the last one is neuroplasticity. This one is my favorite and my most favorite thing about manifestation. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new neural pathways. By consistently visualizing your goals and repeating positive affirmations, you physically wire new thoughts patterns that replace limiting beliefs with confident, action oriented mindsets. Now, I think I personally use manifestation for this specific reason because I have personally seen in my life that affirmations, visualizations, and even to a certain extent, law of assumption literally rewires your brain to think in a positive way and to think a positive reality, which in return, you in a natural way only attract positive things and whatever. Dopamine and motivation. Vividly imagining a future success triggers the release of dopamine in the brain. The neurotransmitter is responsible for drive and reward, turning abstract visions into actionable motivation that compels you to physically work towards your goals. So basically, once you think through visualization, if you think about positive outcomes or positive scenarios, your brain naturally wires itself through this neurotransmitter to take an actionable um, step to achieve this set goal at a subconscious level, which I think is so interesting. So overall, I think that science more or less tells us that yes, manifestation is kind of real, but it is more real in a practical sense, in a logical sense, through things like dopamine activation, neuroplasticity, and growth mindset, than just like this unnamed entity helping you achieve your goals. So now we spoke about what manifestation is, the bad things about manifestations, what science says about it. Now, what do I think? In conclusion, what do I think about manifestation as a whole? One of my favorite things about manifestation, like I mentioned before, is neuroplasticity. I feel like I have personally seen in my life that I was a very not so confident person. I used to really worry about how I look, how I'm presenting myself. And through affirmations, through visualizations, through vision boarding, through like all these tools of manifestation, I really, really rewired my brain into becoming a confident person, into becoming a more positive person, into becoming a person who has more trust and self confidence. I truly, truly believe that at the end of the day, it all starts and ends with your mind. And then like 80%, I think it's about your mind, and 20% is just a little bit of magic that you cannot control. So I feel like manifestation or affirmations or positive affirmations and has helped build a new identity. This might sound a bit controversial, but I also feel like affirmations can literally change your whole personality. Like, for example, if you're somebody who is an anxious person and you wake up every day and you tell yourself, you know what, I am not an anxious person. And I know it might sound fake and stupid and like putting a band-aid on something, but if you actually think about it, I absolutely mean that you should. This is when you have been this is when you are out of like the thick of it, okay? Like this is when you are, I think tools of psychology like CBT and REBT also sort of say the same thing. But I feel like that even in psychology, yes, I definitely think that you should go to therapy and you should do all of those things to work on your mental health. But if you sort of tell yourself enough times that, you know what, I am not an anxious person, these are just anxious thoughts, and I am not my anxious thoughts, or I am not my depressed or uh sad thoughts, it can really shift something in your brain. So I feel like through neuroplasticity, manifestation is a powerhouse. It really, really helps you rewire your whole brain and help build a new identity. So I love that about manifestation. I love what it has done for me, just in terms of self confidence, self esteem, self respect. Just telling myself good things and positive things has naturally made me feel good about myself, irregardless of how my external reality is working. And as a result of my positive thinking, my surrounding has also changed, or has become elevated. So I love that about manifestation. But I also do feel like it creates a sense of narcissism, self centeredness, and a superiority complex, which I don't really like. And there is also a lot of guilt tripping happening because of this, like because of manifestation and using tools like this online. But I think that's just a part and parcel of everything in life. But yeah, so I think it's a line that you need to tread very carefully and cautiously. But I feel like it does more good than it does bad. So in conclusion, do we think that manifestation is real? I think it is as real as you make it. My answer would be, it is as real as you make it, but it is 80% logic and 20% magic. Ooh, 80% logic, 20% magic. But no, for real, I feel like it's 80% neuroplasticity and putting in the work to actually change your reality and your actually change your brain and rewire it, which in return, like science says, rewires your external reality as well. Like the minute you shift your internal reality, as a byproduct of that, your external reality will change. It's only a matter of cause and effect. In that sense, I feel like it is 80% of that and 20% of just je ne sais quoi, just like the universe sprinkling its lovelies. But I don't think, but it is, I think it is very important to look at it like that, to make it that 80-20 and not making it 80% of the universe being like, Swamini, you're a princess, whatever you do you can never be wrong. Hi, I'm universe and I wake up every day to make sure that Swamini's life is the best. I feel like having that thought, putting yourself on a pedestal and making yourself feel like you're better than everyone else, is a very, very wrong way of looking at it. So yeah, it should not be 80% of the universe doing everything and 20% of me um, working on myself. So I think it's 80-20, and I absolutely feel like science has truly not tapped into the power of manifestation, the power of quantum physics. I also feel like thoughts at a quantum level have the power to change realities, and thoughts and feelings are things that work at a quantum level. They cannot be quantified at the moment, but in our body, which is why I feel like mind muscle connection, wherever your attention goes, energy flows, and it's just not affirmation. I feel like there is more science to that sentence, but we have just not tapped into it yet. And once we do, wow, everything, like, we're going to open up a whole new reality, a whole new dimension. And yeah, there is a lot that we don't know. And yeah, these are my closing thoughts. Manifestation is 80% logic, 20% magic. But yeah, that's it. Let me know, what are your thoughts. Do you think manifestation is real? What do you have any crazy manifestation stories? Let me know in the comments. And yeah, let me know what topics you would like me to cover next. um, and yeah, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed just sitting, chilling, being comfy and cozy in my little house and talking with you guys. Let me know in the comments what topics you want me to cover next. Let me know, do you like watching me or do you just want it to be audio? Let me know all your thoughts. And yeah, everything is about energy exchange. So please like, comment, share, and subscribe to claim energy. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't want to come for these girls, but yeah. Like, share, comment, subscribe, do all of that jazz if you genuinely liked the video. And that's it.